My aunt touched my younger brother inappropriately, and my parents covered it up. It 24 female once witnessed my aunt 34 female, my mother's sister, touching my younger brother 21 inappropriately. It happened 7 years back in 2017. There were only 3 of us in the house that day, and we were watching TV sitting on the couch. My aunt 27 sat next to my brother 14, and I 17 was sitting on the adjacent couch, which was in an L-shaped formation. Initially, she placed her hands on my brother's shoulders and whispered something in his ear, making him appear quite uncomfortable. When I asked her what she was whispering, she simply replied that it was nothing and continued to watch TV. After a short while, my brother got up and sat next to me on the couch, and I inquired about what had happened. He remained mostly silent. Subsequently, I noticed that whenever my aunt approached my brother or sat beside him, he would immediately move away and sit near me or my mother. Several days later, I observed my aunt and my brother sitting in his room. My aunt had her hands on his thighs, caressing them, and my brother looked down at the floor, appearing very uncomfortable and attempting to remove her hands. I entered the room and questioned them about their actions. I also informed my aunt that her behavior was inappropriate, but she dismissed my concerns with a laugh and left. I sensed that something was amiss and asked my brother if everything was all right. He remained silent, staring at the floor, and started sweating. I took him out for a walk to help him clear his mind and began to casually talk to him. When I asked him about our aunt, he suddenly started crying and admitted that he had made a mistake. He revealed that he had tried to peep on our aunt while she was changing her clothes out of curiosity, as his friends had suggested, but was caught. My aunt had then started blackmailing him, threatening him with dire consequences if she told anyone. Scared of the potential repercussions, he followed his aunt's instructions. He also told me that his aunt used to show him pornography, touch him inappropriately, and taught him how to masturbate showing videos. I was disgusted and angered by his revelations. I immediately confronted my mother with the information, but she refused to believe me. She called my father and we told him everything. However, he accused us of making up stories and trying to damage my aunt's reputation. He was particularly angry because my aunt was aspiring to become a doctor, and she was highly regarded within our family circle. My father became furious and dragged my brother and me into our room, shouting at us and accusing us of tarnishing our family's reputation. His voice was so loud that my mother came running in trying to calm him down. As soon as my brother tried to explain himself, my mother started hitting him and blamed him for everything. I was shocked by their reaction. They called my aunt, and she started crying, claiming that she had caught my younger brother peeping on her while she was changing and had scolded him. She accused both of us of scheming against her. My father was furious, and to my bad luck, I had just omitted the part about my brother peeping on her just to help him, but in turn it backfired on us. I told them everything else, but for the first time in my life, my father screamed at me and dragged both me and my brother inside, scolding us harshly and even beating my brother in front of me. I was scared and we both started crying, and we were later grounded for several days. When we came out of the room, I saw my father and mother trying to comfort my aunt and apologizing to her. After this incident, I moved out of my house and rarely visited for the next 2 years. Although things seem to have returned to normal, there is still tension among us whenever the entire family gathers for dinner or other occasions. My brother usually avoids these events or only attends if I am present. Even though 7 years have passed since this happened, I still cannot understand why my parents reacted that way. My brother's experience has left him deeply scarred, and he remains constantly vigilant around our family members. However, when I see him with his friends, I am reminded of the old, carefree version of him. Despite the passage of 7 years, my parents' and my aunt's relationship seems to have grown even stronger. At last Thanksgiving, my aunt approached me and my brother, suggesting that we let bygones be bygones and start anew. I was furious that day and would have physically assaulted her if my brother had not been present there. My parents' fear of their reputation as immigrant parents may have led them to prioritize preserving their family's honor over addressing my brother's abuse. However, their actions remain inexcusable. Even after all this time, I cannot forgive them. We have not yet officially filed a report, but are in the process of building up the case. A close friend of mine from back then who knew about the incident is trying to help us out. However, A few people have advised that without any concrete evidence, we doubt this case will even stand. Despite these concerns, we are working with a social worker to take legal action against our aunt. Our goal is to hold her accountable for her actions and obtain justice for the harm she caused.